Hi, everybody. Recruiting Animal here on January 21st, 2026. Are you here, Tommy Pistachio Elascio?
I'm out here at the barn and I'm working on a fence.
But I have a specific question for you that I
Sure.
was that you, if you can work and talk at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you had I started watching your video and I didn't get far into it, but I want to about the virtues of Sales Navigator.
Okay.
And can you tell us about that while you're working?
So the idea behind using that is for business development, right? So everybody's always looking to do business development, and there's three ways that allow you to find potential employers who need help beyond chasing job boards, right? Or just doing an MPC marketing call. And the first one we call ambulance chasing, right? So basically what that means is you go into LinkedIn Sales Navigator and you do a search for the position you're in or the industry you're in or whatever. And then you want to find people who've been at a company for less than a year and recently changed jobs. So that's going to give you everybody who changed jobs basically in the last 90 days or less that is in your industry that went to like maybe a competitor or similar role. And then what you do is you go to the company they left, see what that position was, and if it's relevant. They were a project manager in construction for Pepper Construction. They left Pepper and went to Tucker, right? So then you call the guy at Pepper. I'm like, hey, Tom Elascio, I'm a headhunter. I specialize in construction. We were doing a search in Chicago, looking for a project manager for one of our clients, and we heard that Bill Jones, your PM, left you guys and went over to Tucker. And I was calling A to see if that rumor's true, and then B to see if you filled his position. So instead of assumptive opening, like I do a lot of, which is, hey, my name's Tom Elascio, we just got done a search, we heard you guys were looking for somebody, with a little bit more nuance than that. This actually gives you the ammunition of knowing who the person was in the position and where they went. So in the eyes of the hiring manager or the person who you're talking to, like, you know what the hell's going on in your industry. Like, you're the fucking man or girl, right? So that's what it gives you a lot more credibility, and it's a lead because that person left in the last 30, 60, or 90 days. That's what we call ambulance chasing. Then the other one, go ahead.
There's two more though, right?
Yeah. Then the other one is HR headcount. So we talk all the time. We don't want to work with HR. We don't want to work with talent acquisition. So you go into Sales Navigator in the account section, not the leads, the account section. Okay. And you go to account filters. And in account filters, what you're going to put in is you're going to put in, let's see, you're going to put in your industry, right? Construction, United States or Maryland or wherever where you want to work. And then you're going to go to down to the bottom to employee headcount or position headcount or department headcount. And then you're going to click on human resources, and then you're going to put a 2 in the box, right? So it's going to show you less than 2. This company has less than 2 human resources or talent acquisition people, so 1 or none. And it's going to give you a huge amount. So then you're going to go up to the company employees or revenue filter to get it to a more work. So for construction, for example, you're going to get a ton of 0 to 10s and 11 to 50s that have no HR. They're also all tiny companies. But from 50 to 200, there's like 3 or 4, 5, 6, 700, whatever. Those are companies of decent size that have 1 HR person or less. So when you call the hiring manager, chances are he's feeling pain. He's willing to deal with you because they only have 1 HR person. So that's the employee head. That's the department headcount. That allows you to market to companies, whether you're running an MPC campaign, whether you're doing the assumptive opening or anything, to hiring manager where they only have 1 HR person. And if they have a need, they'll be more apt to talk to you because they don't have help. So those are the things that, like, I try to explain. Like, everybody wants to chase jobs on LinkedIn or on Monster, Career Builder, Indeed, whatever. Like, get ahead of the game. Get ahead when you know somebody left, the job maybe hasn't been run yet, or work with a company who doesn't have a big HR department. And then the third one's kind of a twofold. One, it was headcount growth. So if you do a lot of work, let's say project managers in construction, go to headcount growth and put in there 20% headcount or better, and find all the companies that added project managers in the last year 20%. That's an indicator that they could be growing. That also could be an indicator they filled all their positions, but it's just another indicator. And the other one is under the account filters, when you put in the companies, leadership changes. So you can then look at leadership change and see if they got a new head of this or head of that, call and congratulate them. Or again, doing the ambulance chasing, see where the old guy went and see if he needs a pet recruiter. So a lot of this revolves around just looking at the indicators of why a company might be hiring and not having to deal with human resources, not having to deal with TA, and not chasing jobs on LinkedIn or Indeed or whatever.
You missed something good, Rich. I mean, Tom created a 15-minute video about doing business development with Sales Navigator, and so he just gave a condensed version of it, and it's really good. Do you use that for anything?
For Sales Nav?
I think Rich knows about the ambulance chasing one, don't you, Rich?
Which one? What do you mean?
Where you search, you go into your industry, right? You put in your industry. And then you put in the title that usually account executive or SDR or whatever it is. And then you put in less than a year at the company and then change jobs in the last 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll see all the sales guys or SDRs or whatever that left in the last 30, 60 or 90 days, find out where they worked before, call their old boss. Hey, I was just finishing a search in New York for a SaaS software guy. Heard that Mike left you guys and went over to XYZ. Did you fill Mike's position?
Yep, absolutely.
And then also, not having to deal with human resources is go into the account section and search under department headcount 2 HR people or less, and it'll give you all your companies that only have 1 or 2 HR people.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, mine are all startups, so mine generally don't have HR or very many. So HR is just a giant nuisance.
Yeah, this just works for like for you and I, we don't worry about that, but for the new recruiters and stuff, like this is a way like to make an MPC marketing campaign with companies that don't have big HR teams. So you're not, one of the objections you're not going to get is you need to talk to HR.
Yep.
And if they say that, go, you have 1 HR person. How the hell can they be filling all your positions, bro?
Yeah, exactly. Very true. Very true.
Richie, Rich, what's wrong with you? You were sick before.
I got the plague. I got the plague going on.
Not
Everybody's
COVID,
got
I
that
hope.
shit, man.
Oh man, it sucks. It's like I have been down and out all week. It sucks. So
okay, so let's move into your territory. I think you are famous in my mind for saying you leave voicemails on every call. You say, why not? If you're making a call, why not leave your name? The more they hear your name, the better, right?
It mostly turns into a text anyway. So why not?
What do you mean?
You know, when you leave a voicemail, generally it becomes a text now.
Oh, on their side. Yeah. I see. Okay.
So why would you not?
Okay, but because most people think cold calls are a waste of time, but I think you and I think Michael G. Cox also said cold calls are really warm-up calls, okay? Just so when you call in the future, you're not a stranger. Is that true that cold calls are warm-up calls?
I don't know if it's a warm-up call, but I just don't understand why it hurts. You already made the dial. Why not?
Okay, but some people say don't make the dial in the first place, or don't leave cold messages on LinkedIn, or don't send cold email.
I mean, listen. The end of the day is until you talk to someone, you have no idea what vehicle is going to get you there.
Yep.
You know, so if you reach out on LinkedIn, leave a message. Reach out on phone, leave a message. I see no downside, and I've yet to see anyone successful prove me wrong on that.
I don't understand. Like, if you leave a message, it doesn't mean you can't. If they don't call you back, it doesn't mean you can't call them again.
Yeah.
Like, what is the harm? I don't get it.
Yeah.
No, I don't leave it the first time usually. That's just me. But I'll leave it the second time.
Yeah, I'll leave a message. Just say, hey, it's Rich Rosen following up on an email. Give me a ring. Or, hey, so and so referred your name to me. Even if they didn't, get back to me or whatever. Just some innocuous email that leaves a little intrigue.
The intrigue is the whole thing. I love the intrigue side.
Yeah.
And enough people don't do that.
No.
I don't think people are intrigued by business calls or sales calls, to tell you the truth.
But if you say, listen, I'm working on a AI 911 project, this guy's in that space, wouldn't you be interested in finding one?
Hold on. The whole claim is that these guys are getting. Are you okay?
No, I'm dying, man.
Okay, but they're getting so many calls. They're getting so many calls.
They're not getting so many calls, though. That is a myth. Okay. How many calls do you get a day?
I don't know.
There you go. Not that many, then.
Well, it depends how
I
many.
probably get
For us, it depends how many
20.
we're leaving out there. Okay, that depends. It varies.
Yeah.
I get 20 cold calls a day, approximately.
I mean, if you get 20 calls a day, that's a lot. All right. But most people aren't getting that many.
And
Okay.
mine are junk though. Mine are like wanting to sell me, loan me money, and do my taxes and new
Yeah.
softwares and all that bullshit.
That's it. So, I mean, if you leave an intelligent voicemail or an intelligent email, you got a better chance of getting back. And if you follow up 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, you know, I mean, most people stop after the second one.
Okay,
Yeah, that's the follow up, man. That is like we talked about this on the show the other day. Like we suck at follow up. If you just followed up double what you usually do, you'd probably make an extra 3 deals a year.
Totally. 100%. I mean,
We suck at it so much.
yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If you have got, you know, an email campaign system, there's no reason that you don't set it up for 9, 12 campaign, you know, emails. You know, who cares? The guy's going to get back to you, or it's going to a dead email, or
Exactly.
or he's going to respond, and that will stop it. You know.
Well, remember the other guy, he argued that, you know, the timing is everything. And if they don't get back to you after 3 or 4 touches, you're wasting your time. You're just making
I
them hate you.
disagree.
That's
I
totally right.
disagree.
It's proven to be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, because a lot of times it's, you know, I use that adage, they don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. If you're around after 5, 6, 7, 8, and still hitting them, it might fall into what that guy said, which is timing, right? The 8th email might hit him at the right time, or the 8th email says, this motherfucker's not going away. I
Yeah.
probably should call him, right?
Yeah, I mean, and listen, are you going to win all the time? No. I mean, dude, if it's a candidate, maybe you win, you know, 30, 40% of the time if you're lucky, right? If
Yep.
it's a client, maybe you win 1 to 4% of the time. All right. But you know what? A win's a win. You don't need 1,000 wins in this business to make a lot of money.
It's a numbers game until you get the skills, and then it's a skills game, but you still need good numbers.
Yep. I mean, that's it. You do. So, I mean, it is at the end of the day, if you don't put the effort in, I mean, you're just not getting the results. This job is 1,000% about the effort you put in.
Yep.
You know?
And people don't seem to get that. They all
Yeah.
want to do it with PIN and Loxo and Jobin, and all they got to do is set it and forget it, and then all they got to do is send an invoice. And
Yep.
it's so stupid when I hear people, oh, this ATS didn't do what I thought it was going to do. What do you think it was do? Make phone calls for you, do pitches, and overcome objections, for Christ's sake?
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
just software.
people are lazy, and just that's why they're not doing well.
And the tools have made them lazier.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, everyone looks for the shortcut.
With this cold email and cold phone calls and stuff, there's some people say there's no channel that's better than the other, and I think that's not necessarily true. So there's you know, there's LinkedIn messaging, there's phone calls, there's email, and there's texting. Okay, is it true that not one is better than the other?
Calling is the number one, because you can develop a relationship, you can overcome objections, you can answer questions that you cannot answer on email. It
Yeah.
just doesn't exist.
But what about, I think Rich was saying, and it's hard for me to think that Rich really believes this, that posting on LinkedIn articles is superior to all these other forms of contact.
I've never said it's superior. I just said it's a must. You should be doing it. It's everything. You need to do all forms of communication. Period. You know, it's not. You know, if you don't do it, that's just one channel you're avoiding, and it's one way people could hear you for free. If you want inbound calls, posting content continuously is the best way to do it for the money.
You know, there's these guys on YouTube who approach people on the street and they say, "Who do you like better, Jennifer Lawrence or Laura Dern or something like that?" Right? And you have to choose one, and then they'll give you another beautiful actress. And so in the end, you end up with the one that you like the most. Now, I believe Rich is saying, "Oh yeah, you got to do them all." No, some are more valuable than others. And I believe that Rich would say, Rich would give up posting on LinkedIn before he'd give up his phone. Okay.
100%. Yeah,
100%.
yeah. Nothing's black and white, bro. We've said it a million times. So
No, I
100%.
am right here. Okay, we're
Not
talking
really.
general
I mean,
terms.
it's how you're changing the phrasing of the question.
No,
so, yeah.
I'm saying you can't count on inbound, and that's
you
what
can't count on anything.
No, yes, you can.
No,
You can count.
You
You can
cannot.
count-
Today's market, you cannot count on anything. You need to do phone calls, emails, texts, LinkedIn, messaging.
Facebook, TikTok, YouTube.
Yeah.
Everything.
Wherever your client base or candidate base is hiding, that's where you should be posting or talking. Yeah.
No, hold on. No, how? Okay, no. Let's say I gave Rich $2 million to advertise his business. How would he
Yeah.
do that?
What would I do with it? I would.
Yeah.
It all depends. It depends. I mean, like, honestly, you would put like ads up in like LaGuardia or SFO airport, where you get everyone passing by who's looking at all there where there's a big tech center. You would fucking flood LinkedIn with ads. You'd flood Facebook or wherever your people are with ads. I have no idea how much all that stuff really
Okay,
costs.
none of that is guerrilla marketing. Okay, those are just
I would
traditional
do
marketing.
exactly what Cluely did. I'd find like the Sphere in Vegas.
Yeah.
And have them put this Sphere cost me a ton of money. Please check out Palermo Roads Inc.
Yeah. Okay.
So think about it. Hang
Neither
on.
of you are
Hang
talking
on.
about content. Neither of you are talking about content production on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Content, you don't have to spend money on content. But wait,
And then do that.
wait, Tony, hang on.
Go
Adam,
ahead.
you don't need to spend money on content. You just said you're going to give me $2 million. I can spend $6,000 on content. Who cares? If you're going to give me $2
that
million,
means the content is
no. If I'm going to spend money, I'm going to put an ad where all my people go. Every sales rep is in New York City or San Francisco in tech.
These guys,
every time they go to the
everybody,
airport, they're
these
gonna
are
see my
smart
name.
guys, okay? But they're too stupid to realize that I'm right, okay?
No, because you think everything is black and white. I
No.
would absolutely flood social media towards the construction industry, the engineering industry, the building material, fabricated products industry with content.
Okay.
Content.
These guys, first of all, said create content like your business depends on it because it does. Rich just said everything but that content comes, the LinkedIn content comes at the bottom. He's going to do
That's not what
traditional
I
advertising.
said. You just said where I was going to spend money. I said for $2 million, I would buy ads in high
Yeah,
traffic
but
areas.
creating content was not your primary
But
or
that's
your.
part of- first of all, you need content for your ad on those signs. Secondly, you still do content, but that doesn't. That's the beautiful thing about content. It doesn't need to cost you a ton of money. There's two different problems you're going after.
I post from everything Rich posts. I do a short form on it and I repost it. Plus, I'm posting shorts with you guys being brilliant every day. I cut out all your stupid stuff and I post your stuff showing how smart you are, and it doesn't have any effect. Nobody says, "Hey, recruiting animal." posted this
I
week."
have gotten people said to me, "I saw you on Animal."
I agree.
I've gotten that.
Yeah. How much business did you get?
Yeah. And personally,
That's just it. That's a problem too. We're not posting Rich started to, but I had to look back at myself. I was making a huge mistake. I was posting to recruiters. That's stupid.
Yeah.
That's not a money-making thing. Why am I posting? I don't give a shit about recruiters. I want, and I don't make
Yes,
it.
you do. You've got 2 shows. You're spending half your life.
but that's for fun.
That's for fun. I don't make any money off of that. That costs me money. I actually make money on that because it helps my production. It helps me become a better recruiter. I can share ideas, yada, yada, yada. That's why I do the roundtable. But if you're going to change content, the content has to be towards the people that's going to make you money, the candidates and clients. That's where I fucked up.
Okay, let me go through these. Okay, you guys.
I have a call I got to make because we got one last question. Go ahead.
Okay, the numbers. So they say create content, and then they said what this means: post daily on at least 2 social media platforms. Okay, so that's what they're talking about. They're not talking about putting up big ads in the airport or in Las Vegas.
Different things, but that wasn't your question.
Yeah, your question was
Yes.
where we spend our money if you gave me $2 million.
Well, yeah, but we were talking about in the context of what these guys from Cluely did. Okay.
But
you didn't say
they
that.
started with ads, but clearly started with billboards, and then with the content, with influence.
Yeah, well, I don't think that was in the article. The
It
article
wasn't,
was
but
about-
I know Roy, and I can get you the article. If you Google it, it will come up. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Rich,
that's,
thanks for coming,
you
even
asked
though you're
me
sick.
that. I'd spend money in a trade. I'd go to the trade shows, right? World of Concrete, the roofing show, the metal
And that's
shows. I
hold
go
on.
those.
That's where Dominic spends his money. Okay, renting
it's a
suites.
great-
He doesn't spend it on social media. Okay.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Yes, he fucking does.
Here,
What are you talking
hey,
about?
I just put the ad in your in the chat too.
I've
Oh, the
never seen
Clearly ad?
Dominic on. Where's Dominic on social media? On
Oh my
LinkedIn?
God. Yeah, he's just as popular as Rich.
I
Yeah.
follow him and I never see him ever. Okay. I have to make a point of it then. Okay. Rich, we'll let you go. I wish you the return to health.
I hope
very
you feel better,
quickly.
Rich. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Hey, Animal, take a look at the second link on LinkedIn. You'll see the Cluely thing.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I was right in our discussion. You were
You
wrong.
were not right. Go look at. Listen. Go right
No,
now.
It was revealing.
Go.
It was revealing for these guys. Don't think social media is. They'll say, "Oh, yeah, that's really important," but they don't really believe it when it comes down to spending their money. Okay. I
No, you were
but they
giving
won't
me
say,
$2
"Yeah,
million.
you know, you got
Hey,
a point,
Tom,
Rudy. You're
Tom.
right."
Hey Tom,
Yeah.
if you had a bridge, how many elephants would you have?
What does the color purple smell like?
Yeah, exactly. Usually pot in New York City, actually. But you know.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
God. All right. On that note, I'm going to go die in peace.
Okay.
All right.
Take care.
All right, guys, take it easy. Yeah,
Bye.
Bye.
Tom, you want to finish that discussion, or should I
Yeah.
let you?
whatever
Finish
you want to do. I'm just taking out nails now.
Okay. Yeah, but I this must be slowing you down.
No, not at all.
No? Okay.
No.
Okay. So he says, tell your story, including the struggles and failures. Okay. I never
Agree.
Oh, well, give me an example then of what you would talk about. Now you told us, I got to tell you something.
Counter
Well,
offer.
let me tell you something. You told us about a failure on the show, and I deliberately didn't make that into a short because I didn't want
Why?
to highlight your failure. Okay.
Which failure was it?
I can't remember, but it was a.
Oh, the one where I didn't research the company. No. Those are. I'm going to post those. The more that I did research on this, there's nothing wrong because you're humanizing yourself. And if the failure can tell a story that can lead to success, you absolutely should post it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. And the other thing they said is respond to comments and messages within hours. They said, don't wait. Get. Yeah.
If you can. I mean, obviously, somebody comments at 3:00 in the morning, you're not going to do that. But yes, in a
Okay.
timely manner.
I'll just do one more. Okay. This was Rich and you guy. I made a bunch of shorts actually just from one long, about 20-minute conversation we had about presenting jobs, and Rich insisted. It's too bad he's not here. I'm going to ask him again in the future, but you and I can have a brief conversation about it. Remember, he said, "Look, when I tell somebody about a job, I'm brutally transparent. You know, you're not going to get this from this job. You're not getting that. You're not getting that. If you want it, fine. If you don't." He had a very nonchalant approach, and I called it non-attached. You and I discussed it online this week. Remember that? Okay. But then he said, look, after questioning, he said, there's different stages in your relationship with a candidate when you're recruiting them. Okay. There's one stage when you're getting them on the phone, and there's another next when you're talking about the job in detail. So it sounded like we didn't get into this. When you get them on the phone, that's when you're doing a pep talk about the job. You're not saying, "Hey, that's what I wanted to focus on, so I get the full picture." So we know that once he gets somebody who's interested, he tells them all the pros and cons. But it sounded like the initial call, he's saying, "Oh, this is a great opportunity." Do you know what? Do you agree with him, or do you know what he was talking about?
I don't. Can you kind of? So, I don't think I understand what you meant.
Okay, so when he's having a screening call, okay, you first you contact the person, okay. That's just getting them on the phone for a conversation.
Hey, Michael, this is Tom Alashio. You and I have spoken before. I'm a headhunter. I specialize in structural engineering. I know you're busy. I'll be brief. I've been retained by one of my top clients, search for an individual high degree of skill in engineering as it relates to structural design. I have no reason to believe looking to make a job change. My company is blah, 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 blah. Would you be open to a conversation? That's the call?
Yeah, I think it's actually more than that. It's actually getting them interested in a specific,
Yeah, I didn't do the whole thing, but I'm pitching a specific job. I've
yeah,
been
but it
retained
didn't
one of my
sound
top clients.
okay.
The search for an individual with a high degree of skill in engineering as it relates to structural design. My client is a Fortune 100 company with 17 locations. They're looking for a structural engineer based in Chicago, Illinois, that can design glass manufacturing sites. Based
Okay, but that's
on my
still kind of
research,
bland.
you're a
Your
highly
pitch,
qualified individual.
yeah, your pitch though, it's not. There's no razzmatazz in that either. That's pretty just straightforward, right?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah. The idea is, like, again, I'm sitting here working on a fence, but my pitches are usually I'll have a little bit of a hook in them to get them to talk to me, right? So if it's one that I'm looking for an engineer personality, I'll say that, like, we're looking for someone who doesn't want to sit behind a desk all day staring at a computer screen, but still wants to be involved in structural engineering. So if you're the type of engineer that's got an outgoing personality but loves structural design, this could be a great opportunity for you.
Okay, so actually, so you're not doing a hard sell either in the first part or the second
No,
part.
I'm not.
Although you said, contrary to Rich, which he had to agree with after, okay? This is the why it's good to have a few people talking about stuff, is that you said, look, I will push, if I think it's a fantastic match, I will push somebody to go out and they'll often thank me afterwards, right?
Yep. I don't know if that was on your show or
Yes,
whatever.
it was here.
It was, yeah. I will drag people kicking and screaming. I was Butler Manufacturing, Laurinburg, North Carolina. I drugged this guy kicking and screaming to go on the interview. And afterwards, he's like, thank you so much. Oh my God, I'm glad I did. Right? Like I talk about that a lot. Like sometimes you have to strong arm them, but you also have to realize as a headhunter and a consultant or whatever is that you know what the fuck you're talking about and you don't send them to some schmo job. Like if you're going to do all the stuff that I do and beat somebody up to go on an interview, it better be fucking fantastic. And they better walk out of there going, hey, that's a great opportunity, but it's too far from my house. It should never be, Tom, that's the stupidest job ever. I should never fucking hear that.
Okay. So yeah. So this, I think Rich would agree with you that he would do the same thing. But the way he told us about the job, and I think it was important, but that he says he never tries to shoehorn anybody, that wasn't his word, into a job. He tells them exactly like it is, and he doesn't push anybody out. But I bet you he sort of agreed with you. It was hard to tell on the show that if it comes to a fantastic potential like you just described, yeah, he'll urge that person to go out and take a look at it. Not to take it necessarily, but to take a look at it at least, right?
In my rebuttal, it's always like, I'm not offering you a job. I don't even know if you're qualified, right? Or my client, I don't even, my client's going to like you. Right? It's called the pull away, and then you give it right back to him. But based on everything I've seen, dude, you're a rock star for this position. This is something that you can excel at, right? Stuff like that. But I never tell them I'm giving them a job. I'm like, hey, you need to check out this opportunity. If you, with the personality you have, with the drive that you have as an engineer, you are wasting your time sitting behind a desk all day staring at a screen. And I'm not offering you a job, Mike. All I'm saying is take a look at this, because I've been doing this for 28 years. And when I find engineers like you and I put them in positions like this, when they go and interview, they walk out of that and go, oh my God, I had no idea that existed. Thank you so much. And if that's not what happens when you leave, fine. No problem. No party foul. We're good to go. But at least be like an engineer is supposed to be. Get all the information before you make a decision.
Okay. That what reminds me of a case where I wasn't 100% sure of the upper end. It was see the thing is, these people, sometimes you're doing searches where there's not dozens of people. It's hard to find even one person.
Exactly. You just hit the nail on the head, my friend.
No, but here's the thing. But here's the thing. When you've got that only one person and you want to fill, you don't want to lose them, right? And so let's say the client has given you the job description and they're kind of fuzzy about the top end of the salary range, and it's a good job for your candidate, but it's fuzzy about the top. So, well, why don't you just go take a look, have a chat? It's going to be fun. And, if they won't come up with salary, would you do?
Yeah, I mean,
no?
I would say I wouldn't use fun, but I would absolutely say, look, the high end salary range was 110. I know you're making 110. I don't think they've ever interviewed anybody like you before. So let's do a quick phone screen, Teams call, whatever, and see if there's a match. And then I can beat them up on, hey, if you want somebody at this caliber, this is what you have to pay.
Oh, yeah, okay. And what your guy would talk, I never would say I'll beat them up, because then they would think maybe I'm going into a situation where they're going to resent
Well,
having.
I'm sorry. And then I'll discuss with
No,
them
I like the
that
way you said it. I thought it
yes.
was a great delivery, but it might alienate the candidate, is
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
they
I
don't
mean,
really want me.
you could be right. Yeah. So I'll say, like, I'll show them. I want them to see what they could get for 120. And if it's a good fit, great. If not, I understand.
Okay, because it's I don't think it's a waste of time for anybody to go out and have a chat with another company. Quite frankly, they'll learn a lot. The company wants to pick
Oh my
their brains
God.
as well.
That is like one of my rebuttals. I think it's a Finkel rebuttal, is the risk reward ratio, right? Return on investment, right? Like, what do you have to lose? What, 15, 20 minutes of your time talking to me? But what you have to gain is information on a company in your backyard that could be better, plus the relationship with a recruiter who's been doing this 20 years, 25 years. And then if you decide to go out on the interview, what do you stand to lose? Maybe a half a day interviewing, maybe even just an hour interviewing with my client. What do you stand to gain? Well, to get more information on a competitor right around the corner, and to meet and network with somebody in your industry, whether he hires you today or in the future, you collaborate. All you're doing is expanding your network, expanding your knowledge, and learning about a competitor that's in your backyard. That is the least of what you stand to gain. What you could really gain was a great opportunity for you and your family to expand your career, make more money, and blah, 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 blah. The risk reward is nothing, my friend. Talking to me for 15 minutes, talking to my client for an hour, that's not a waste of time. That is going to help you immensely, even if you don't take the job.
Yeah, but I've seen candidates as well complain that there is a risk that once they get out there, the interviewer, they just want to pick their brains and get information from them rather than.
Oh my God, I've been doing
rather
this for 28. I've been doing this for 28 years. And I don't send people out on smoke and mirror jobs. And I don't send you out with clients that are just looking to pick your brain. And I also don't want to send candidates out that all they're doing is wasting my time. If you're not
Mhm.
serious about this is not something that you would seriously consider. Like, if it was the right opportunity, the right money and everything, if you wouldn't consider it, then you're right. It is a waste of time. Right? I'm not going to push you on anything you're going to do. But if you have the mindset, if the right opportunity was presented to you and you're willing to be open about it, then absolutely talk to my client. And just so you know, I haven't lasted 28 years by spreading, telling everybody who's interviewing anywhere. This is completely confidential. It's going to be me, you, and my client who's going to be knowing interviewing. If anybody else finds out, it's because you told them, not me or not my client. So if you want confidentiality, you deal with me. You want an opportunity, and you're serious about actually looking at an opportunity and saying, yeah, if it's the right one, I'll make a move, then I think we should move forward. If you're just kicking tires because I'm a great sales guy and you don't want to hurt my feelings, please hurt my feelings, because I got other stuff to do.
Well, hold on a second. I'm going to let you go in a minute to work on the fence, but you are telling somebody that they are. You're saying, look, go kick some tires and find out what it's like. Even if you don't take the job, you'll find out something. So you're not looking for someone who.
Again, but I have to preface, I don't just want them to kick the tires if they wouldn't seriously consider making a change, right? So yeah, go kick the tires, but only if
there's a possibility you might consider it seriously.
Yeah, if you could say to me, Tom, I can never leave because my wife's father owns the company. I don't want that guy going on a fucking interview, right?
Yeah, right.
But I could probably talk a guy like that into the interview, but I don't want to do that, right? So when I say kicking and screaming, there's certain things that have to line up for me to do this. And we say this all the time, like, when you call a passive candidate, I know I called you, but what would motivate you to make a job change? I'm sorry. I know I called you, but what would motivate you to leave your current company? I know I called you, but tell me why this job is better than the one you have now after they interview, right? When you're dealing with passive candidates, you can't be too pushy, but a light has to come on somewhere along the line. A light has to come on for them to say, okay, yeah, I wasn't looking, but Tom, this is too good to pass up, and this is the current job I have now. Right? Or, yeah, Tom, I know you called me. I know I'm not looking, but I tell you what, to be honest with you, the company's owned by two brothers. They have no succession plan. They're both in their 70s, and I'm worried. I probably got to go to they're in their 60s, and I'm worried what's going to happen in 10 years. Right? That's something that he's not worried about now, but because I called him, brought up a better opportunity, a better company, blah, blah, blah. That's the thing that's kind of hiding in the back of his head that I need to discover to decide whether or not this guy's serious.
Okay. Great conversation. Even at the last 10 minutes, I've really enjoyed it.
I love this. this is one of my favorite things to talk about, is recruiting and overcoming objections with passive candidates, trying to get passive candidates to go out. It's one of my favorite things to talk about.
Okay. See you later. It's been nice seeing that beautiful field. It's very nice out
Well,
there.
thank you. Hey, it's awesome. I'm having a blast, and I was glad I could join while I was doing this.